Hi, I'm Miss Lindsay. I hope you're reading at home, and I'm going to read you a book called One Day in the Life of Bubblegum, told from the point of view of the bubblegum. It was written by students, children. Here are the authors: Emma, Riley, Erica, Anna, and Lily. There once lived a piece of plain bubblegum who lived a very plain and boring life. Then one day, his life changed. He was sitting in the candy box next to a lollipop, like he always did, when a hand reached in and grabbed him. That tickles. It picked him up, took off his wrapper, and popped him into a little girl's mouth. It's cold outside, my wrapper. The next thing the gum felt was teeth, chomping down on him. Made him feel good to know that he was wanted. I love massages. Meanwhile, outside the mouth, the little girl and her mother were on their way to the park for a picnic. Hey, where are we going? When they reached the park, they chose to sit on a park bench. It was time to eat. So the little girl took the gum out of her mouth and stuck it under the bench. I can stick to anything. The gum waited patiently for over an hour, but the little girl didn't come back to get him. All he could do was stick there and watch feet go by him on the sidewalk. Your socks don't match. A park maintenance worker named Bob walked up to the bench and started to scrape off the paint. He scraped quick and hard under the bench and sent the gum flying onto the sidewalk. I'm flying. A businessman walking in the park stepped on the gum and it stuck to the bottom of his shoe. Boy, you're in a hurry. He walked to the street, flagged down a taxicab, and headed for the center of the city with the gum tagging along. Watch where you're driving. The taxi drove several miles and pulled up in front of a huge building. As the man stepped out of the taxi, the gum fell off his shoe and onto the sidewalk. Free at last. Just then, a small golden bird glided over the heads of the people on the sidewalk. Out of the corner of her eye, she saw the not-so-pink bubblegum. What a beautiful bird. I need a travel agent. Thinking that the gum could be used to build her nest, she picked it up in her tiny little beak and flew off towards the park. As she soared over the park, she saw the rest of her flock and heard her mate calling her. She opened her mouth to respond, and the gum fell to the ground. Where's my parachute? Your paws tickle. She dove to retrieve her find, but she was too late. A foraging squirrel saw the gum land and snatched it up in his furry front paws. The bird flew sadly back to her flock. The squirrel proudly held his prize in the air and took a nibble to see if it tasted as good as it smelled. Ouch, that hurt. Sitting in the grass and admiring the gum, the squirrel had caught the attention of a small but ornery dog named Smokey. I'll give you a peanut to set me free. Smokey barked at the squirrel. The squirrel ran away and Smokey started to chase him, but stopped. Smokey saw the bubblegum that the squirrel had dropped. Nice puppy, good doggy. Smokey sniffed at the gum curiously. He bit it and started chewing. The gum stuck in his teeth. You need a breath mint. Smokey walked over to his owner and tried to bark. All that came out was a gurgle because of the gum. Get me out of here, Smokey's owner asked. What are you chewing on, Smokey? The owner opened Smokey's mouth, picked out the gum, and stuck it back under the bench. No, not back under here. The next day, the little girl and her mom came back to the park for a walk. The little girl wanted to rest, so they both sat on the newly painted bench. Where have I seen those shoes before? The little girl looked under the bench, and sure enough, the gum was still there. When her mother wasn't looking, she put the gum back in her mouth. That's more like it. As she chewed, she thought to herself, hey, this gum tastes better than yesterday. I wonder how it got so good. What a life. The end. I hope you enjoyed that book. Maybe you can write a response to this book. Maybe another day in the life of a piece of bubble gum. Thanks for listening.